On Thursday, President Trump spoke in Poland, where he laid forth his plans for NATO Article 5 common defense. He said that the United States, quote, has demonstrated not merely with words but with actions that we stand firmly behind Article 5. Our defense is not just a commitment of money, it is a commitment of will. Trump went on to explain, quote, our own fight for the West does not begin on the battlefield, it begins with our minds, our wills, and our souls. He even warned the Russian government directly, quote, we urge Russia to cease its destabilizing activities in Ukraine and elsewhere. Trump also stated his support for missile defense in Poland against Russia. This should have been a ringing rebuke to the American media, who have declared Trump a Putin shill for nearly a year. Instead, the media decided to focus on the fact that Trump received warm praise from the Polish people. CNN's actual headline, this is the real headline, quote, Trump, showered in Polish praise, backs NATO's Article 5. It's difficult to recall CNN running a similar headline during President Obama's magical mystery European tours. The media also went nuts over Trump ripping CNN while overseas. NBC's Chuck Todd tweeted, quote, a trashing of the American press corps and intel community in Eastern Europe of all places? Could Putin have asked for anything more? Well, yes. Putin could have asked for more. He could have asked for a president who wanted to give him flexibility and withdrew from missile defense in Eastern Europe and handed Syria over to Vladimir Putin. He could have asked for that and actually gotten it. It's not pleasant that President Trump attacks the media while he's overseas. It's unpresidential, but, I mean, this is Donald Trump, so is that any giant shock? But the media's willingness to ignore the real story in Poland, that Trump forcefully chided his supposed conspirators in election hacking, that he's talking about setting up a missile defense system to defend against them, that he went after their aggression in Ukraine and Syria. That's the real story, that he took material steps to check those territorial ambitions. CNN ignores all of that. The media ignore all of that because they are more interested in getting President Trump even over stupid issues. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is The Ben Shapiro Show. Okay, so if you don't know anything about wine, we're going to just straight in thank our sponsors over at Winc. If you don't know anything about wine, if you are invited over to somebody's house for dinner and you don't know wine from a bottle of Kedem grape juice, very Jewish reference, then you need to go to Winc.com, because Winc.com not only allows you to get an inexpensive, terrific bottle of wine, it also tells you what kind of wine your friends will like and that you will like. You actually go on there, it profiles your taste palette, tells you kind of what wine goes with what food, and they recommend a wine just for you. It's trywinc.com, TRYWINC.com. You take that brief palate profile quiz, and they recommend a distinct and interesting wine customized to your palate, shipped directly to you. Right now, Winc is offering listeners $20 off your first order when you go to trywinc.com/Ben. Trywinc.com/Ben. Again, it's WINC.com/Ben. They'll even cover the cost of shipping. Trywinc.com/Ben. You get that complimentary shipping. You get that $20 off your first order, and these bottles are like $10 a piece, so it's a pretty great deal. Try Winc.com and make sure that you never show up at somebody's house with a crappy bottle of wine again. Instead, bring the wine that will have them all talking, that you will enjoy as well. So even if you don't like their company, you can at least get drunk off the wine and really enjoy it. Try Winc.com/Ben. Go over and check it out for that. You'll also use the /Ben so that they know that we sent you. Okay, so President Trump is over in Poland, and he's been speaking over in Poland about missile defense and about Russian aggression and about Article 5. So for months we have heard that President Trump was going to withdraw from NATO. Now, some of this was Trump's own fault. He kept talking about how NATO was useless and obsolete and how they didn't pay their bills. Well, now he finally goes where it is necessary for him to go to talk about NATO, and that is the countries that border the Russia that would like to invade Eastern Europe. So he went over to Poland. You recall that when President Obama was president, he helped dismantle a missile defense system in Poland. He took it out of Poland that would have defended against Russian aggression. Trump goes over there and he says, we are going to help you reinstall that missile defense system against Russia. Then he says, we want Russia to stop its territorial ambitions in Ukraine and in Syria. So in other words, this is not spoken like a guy who spends his days coordinating with Vladimir Putin on just what Vladimir Putin wants. But that is not stopping the media from portraying it that way. See, the media are fully invested at this point. They're delusional, okay? We have a delusional media and a delusional left. They're fully invested in the idea, twofold idea. Number one, Hillary didn't actually lose, and number two, Trump is going to be impeached at any moment. Right, these two ideas are related, but the idea is that Hillary didn't actually lose because she could never be beaten by a dunderhead like Trump. Therefore, it must have been that Trump was colluding with Russia, and therefore we are going to search for evidence of that collusion even where none exists. So Trump is out there saying all of this anti-Putin stuff. He's out there talking about missile defense in a way that Obama never did. He's never guaranteed flexibility to Putin in return for anything. And yet, the media is treating this as though Trump actually went there and made a sop to Putin. So Adam Schiff is on CNN. He's on CNN every 2 minutes, Adam Schiff, because apparently he just lives next to the camera for CNN at the Capitol. He actually sleeps on the floor like he's sleeping out at a Thanksgiving Day sale. And then they wake him. They wake him up, and Adam Schiff pops up, puts on a little makeup, and goes on TV. Adam Schiff, he says, well, you know, what Trump was really doing here is he refused to acknowledge Russian hacking of the election. So it's true. During the press conference, Trump was asked about Russia and their interference in the election. Now, number one, Russia didn't actually hack the election. A CNN reporter named Chris Chaliza was on all over Trump because he said Trump wouldn't acknowledge that Russia hacked the election. Russia didn't hack the election. If anything, Russia worked with WikiLeaks to interfere in the election by getting a bunch of emails from the DNC and then weaponizing them for release during the election cycle, undermining election credibility. But there's no evidence of collusion, so Chaliza is wrong. But Adam Schiff says because Trump refuses to acknowledge so-called election hacking, he's giving Putin everything he could possibly want. And you heard Chuck Todd say that when Trump attacks the media, this is giving Putin everything that he could possibly want. Well, how about when Barack Obama routinely attacked Fox News throughout his entire presidency? Was he giving Vladimir Putin everything that he wanted? Is it just possible that Trump may have a legit complaint? And here's the thing for CNN. Every time they attack Trump and suggest that he is in collusion with Russia and giving Putin what he wants, all they're doing is undermining their own credibility and lending credence to everything that Trump says about CNN. Trump so far has done nothing egregious in Poland. In fact, his initial speech, which a lot of people were concerned about, was quite good, right? He talked about, we don't have clips of it yet, but he talked about the fact that Western civilization had to unite against the Islamic fascist threat. He talked about how Russia was providing a threat to Eastern Europe. He paid homage to the heroes of Poland's past, right? All of this is great stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. At the press conference, he ripped on CNN, but at this point, that's rote, okay? If you're pretending that you're really shocked by Trump's behavior, it's not to say Trump's behavior is grand or glorious in attacking American press outlets while he's on the road, but let's be real about this. It is the new normal, okay? We can pretend all we want that it's not the new normal. It is the new normal. So why don't we focus on the fact that what he's actually there to do, not rip the media, but talk with the Polish, that's actually going quite well. But the media can never acknowledge that because, again, point number one is that they think that he didn't actually win the election. And point number two is they keep hoping for this kill shot. They keep hoping that the time will come when they get this one moment, this one grand moment, where they reveal everything there is to know about Trump, and Trump just collapses. His presidency ends. And they're basing their ratings off of this, okay? This is a ratings game for MSNBC and CNN. Proof is in the pudding, okay? MSNBC last week, there was this spat between Trump, this idiotic spat between Trump and Mika Brzezinski, where he was tweeting out about her bloody facelift and all this stupid nonsense. The day after he tweeted that, Morning Joe's ratings went up 70%. You think that MSNBC and CNN are not invested in the fight with Trump? You wonder why they cover every Trump tweet as though it's the end of the world? One, it raises their ratings because Trump is ratings. And two, they are hoping that they're going to stumble upon the thing that finally ends Trump's reign, that Trump will basically oust himself. They won't have to do anything. Trump will just finish Trump. And more importantly, their viewers are hoping that. Their viewers are hoping that they will be watching CNN on the day and time when the world ends, when Trump's administration finally collapses. None of that is going to happen. And so the Democrats have built their entire platform now. It's really amazing. The Democrats have built their entire platform around just hoping that Trump clocks himself in the face of the frying pan. They have nothing to present. There is no program. There are no ideas. There is no actual agenda. The only agenda is just insulting Trump and hoping he implodes and saying, we're not that guy. We're not that guy. And then meanwhile, on the other side, the Republicans are sitting around going, well, at least we're not Democrats. So both sides, who are becoming each other at an incredibly rapid pace, right? Obamacare is now being re-enshrined by a Republican Senate. Donald Trump's White House chief strategist Steve Bannon is now talking about raising taxes on the rich. So Republicans who are becoming Democrats and Democrats who are hoping to become Republicans are both pointing at each other and saying, well, at least we're not that guy. This is the new politics in the United States. You wonder why people who like ideas, I like ideas, why I'm frustrated with the political situation? I'm frustrated because neither of these things matters, okay? I am not a Democrat is not a slogan. I am not a Republican is not a slogan. Your idea should be your slogan. What you're going to do should be your slogan. But nobody talks about any of that crap because we are so ensconced in this WWE fight fest where Republicans slap Democrats and Democrats slap Republicans, and then they all go out for a beer afterward, right? All these media members go out for a beer with each other, okay? They like each other. This idea that people at Fox News don't get along with people on CNN, it may be true for like Sean Hannity, who actually is a true believer, but it's not true for the vast majority of people at Fox News. Those people have friends at CNN. People at MSNBC have friends in the White House. Joe and Mika were friends with Trump until literally 5 seconds ago. And now they're not. But it's all a game, okay? It's all a big game, and the only losers are the American people who are sitting here wondering, okay, well, you say you're not a Republican and you say you're not a Democrat, but how are you different? You look exactly the same to me. Okay, and it's not just me saying this, okay? These are the actual slogans that are now being unleashed. So, yesterday, the Democrats unleashed their new slogan, okay? This is an actual bumper sticker that they are putting out there. Okay, this is their new Democratic slogan. We can show it. Okay, the new Democratic slogan, really, this is a real thing, okay? This is not a parody, was Democrats 2018. I mean, have you seen the other guys? That's legitimately what it says on their slogan. I mean, have you seen the other guys? That's their slogan. So it's not, here's what we're going to do, here's why Republicans are bad. It's just Republicans are a crap show, and at least we're not them. At least we're not them. They don't have any other agenda, right? Their only agenda is we hate Trump and we hate Republicans. And they're making this clearer every day, hoping and praying Republicans destroy themselves, and then they can just point and laugh. So the Democrats continue to push for example, a commission on President Trump's fitness. Okay, you're not going to oust President Trump under the 25th Amendment. I know there's this crazy idea floating around there. I know Ross Douthat from the New York Times had talked about it, that somebody's going to invoke the 25th Amendment and claim that Trump is incapacitated, he's mentally incapable of being president. The Trump who is now the president is exactly the same guy who ran. He's exactly the same guy he has been for all 71 years of his life. Okay, nothing has changed. He's not senile. He's not had a drop-off in capacity. If you think his capacity is not up to snuff, it wasn't up to snuff a year ago either. And if you think that he was perfectly fine a year ago, he's perfectly fine now. In any case, the Democrats are pushing, really, a commission on presidential fitness. They're trying to claim that Trump is incapable of actually being president. So Katie Tur of NBC, even she was looking at this and going, you guys have to be crazy. This is what you're wasting your time on?
Oh, well, of course it does, because the body is contemplated by the Constitution in the 25th Amendment. It was adopted 50 years ago. We're in the 50th anniversary of this provision in the Constitution. And it's, as I said, it's been used multiple times. And so this simply follows through on our constitutional responsibility.
I hear you, but this has so far only been signed on, and correct me if I'm wrong, by Democrats. Democrats
Correct.
Don't control Congress. They don't control the Senate. They don't control the House. They don't control the White House. So, yeah. I mean, without any Republican support, do you think that this is a good use of time right now?
Well, things in Congress do take time to happen, and it's been, 50 years that the 25th Amendment has been in place. But the body itself would be nonpartisan. It would only be activated upon bipartisan, bicameral action by Congress. So there's nothing for anybody to be afraid of except for a presidential incapacity, and that's what the 25th Amendment was all about. It was adopted after the assassination of President Kennedy, and of course we've had multiple assassination attempts take place in our history. We've had lots of presidents incapacitated by different kinds of illnesses, physical and mental, and so on. And so we need to be prepared.
Okay, so a complete waste of time. But Democrats are relying on this because, again, they're hoping against hope that there will be some deus ex machina, that something comes down out of the heavens and saves them from their own incompetence. And you can see their incompetence on display. Terry McAuliffe is the governor of Virginia. He's somebody who wants to run for president in 2020. And he has asked, okay, so name some Democratic leaders. Like, who are the leaders of your party? And here is his attempt to name Democratic leaders.
Secretary of States who said, no dice, you're not getting the data, and you'll never get it.
Governor, I never get to talk to you, so you're going to have to forgive me that when I press you on this. You are a savvy guy. You are plugged in. You've been around Democratic politics a long time. You no doubt are having conversations behind the scenes. No doubt those conversations are being had probably every day. Who is the leader of the Democratic Party right now?
I think there are many leaders of the Democratic Party. I will always default.
Give me a name, Governor. Give me a name.
I'm not going to give you. I'll say the governors who are leading their states, creating jobs, building infrastructure, building an education system that works. We have to balance our budgets. Unlike Washington, they print money. They still can't balance a budget. We create jobs. We build infrastructure. We do education. Governors need to lead the way. And listen, I compliment the folks on Capitol Hill who are doing what they're doing. But, we need some action out of Washington to help us compete on a global basis. And today, we're not seeing anything out of Washington.
Governor,
it is broken.
You are a governor. Are you talking about yourself?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm as chairman of the National Governors Association, I love all of our governors that we have today.
Okay, so McAuliffe is obviously trying to say that he's the leader, but nobody believes Terry McAuliffe is the leader because Terry McAuliffe doesn't even believe Terry McAuliffe is the leader. I mean, Terry McAuliffe is more colorless than a glass of water. I mean, the guy is he's just dull as anything that has ever been put on this earth. There are no leaders of the Democratic Party, and so they're basically running back to that slogan, at least we're not Republicans. Now, they can do well with that slogan. I'll explain why in a second. But first, I want to say thank you to our sponsors over at Framebridge.com. So Framebridge.com is where you go when you want to get all of your stuff custom framed. Custom frames cost a fortune. Like, I have a lot of great art in my house, some of it not so great, but all of it is custom framed. It costs a lot of money to frame. Sometimes it costs more for the frame than it does for the art. That's not the case when you go over to Framebridge.com. You upload your photo from your computer or directly from your Instagram feed, or if you have the physical item, you can actually ship it to them. They will provide secure prepaid packaging so you can mail it in for free, and then you can preview your photo online in any frame style. You can choose your favorite. You can get free help from your designer. They actually provide you a designer. The expert team at Framebridge will custom frame your item in days, not weeks or months, and they will deliver the finished piece directly to you, ready to hang. Right now, if you go to framebridge.com and use my promo code Shapiro, you get 15% off your first order. Framebridge.com, promo code Shapiro. They have a happiness guarantee as well, so if you aren't 100% satisfied with your order, they will make it right. Again, it's framebridge.com, and use that promo code Shapiro. You save an additional 15% off your first order. Framebridge.com. Promo code Shapiro. It is more inexpensive than going to a local shop. It is better because you actually get to preview all of this stuff, and they will make it right if you don't like it. So again, there's nothing to lose. Framebridge.com, promo code Shapiro, get 15% off. Also use the promo code Shapiro so that they know that we sent you. Okay, so I do want to explain why Democrats can win based on this. And the reason that Democrats can win based on the "we're not Republicans" is if Republicans suck. Okay, that's how you win, right? So Republicans were able to win based on that because they would say, at least we're not Obama, at least we're not Democrats. And then people said, well, that's true. I guess you have a point. Right? I mean, this was basically Donald Trump's slogan, at least I'm not Hillary. He said it during the campaign many times, that you have no choice but to vote for me. At least I'm not Hillary Clinton. People went, woo! Yeah, up for it. All right, everything's good. Choo choo, get on the train. That was sort of Trump's slogan. So it's not that it doesn't work, but it requires the other party to suck a lot. Fortunately for the Democrats, the Republicans do. They suck a lot. So we're going to talk about how much the Republicans suck and why they have nothing, and why that matters more than the Democrats having nothing in just a second. For that, you're going to have to go over to dailywire.com. So first of all, before I say this, I just want to thank the folks over at The Blaze for providing us this space today. I want to thank Glenn and Glenn Beck, who had me on a show earlier, and Jonathan Schreiber, who's a CEO over here. I want to thank all the people at The Blaze for providing us the space, because it really is magnificent. No, we didn't actually just, we said we're going to have a new studio, but our new studios did not involved in an armed takeover of The Blaze. They're just lending us the space because they're kind and generous people, so thanks for that. Anyway, if you want to, go over and subscribe so you can see the rest of the show live from these beautiful new studios that we just hijacked and will refuse to leave. Then you have to go over to dailywire.com. $8 a month gets you a subscription. And that means you get the show, you get the show live, you get the mailbag, which we'll be doing tomorrow, live. You get Drew's show, Andrew Klavan's show, which you should totally listen to. You can get that live. You can get his mailbag as well, and then you can also get the website experience ad-free, which is pretty cool. If you get the annual subscription right now for a limited time only, you still get the free signed copy of the book that I wrote with my father about baseball, Say It So. Really fun book. You get that free and signed when you get an annual subscription. Also, July 10th. I mean, the clock is running down. July 10th, the rates go up. So you want to make sure that you lock in that lower rate right now over at dailywire.com when you become a subscriber. So go over and check it out. We are the largest conservative podcast in the nation.